Welcome to the podcast, Restore Yourself, Restore Your Marriage, where it's all about discovering the thoughts that get you in the mood, the thoughts that get you out of the mood, and how creating a deeper connection with yourself creates a deeper connection with your spouse. I'm your coach, Shelly Anderson, coaching you through life, love, and intimacy. This is episode number 207, The Benefits of Double Dates. Yes, this is such a fun topic. Now, it's really interesting that the last month or two, I've been asked to speak a lot on friendship and developing friendship and the skills that go into developing friendships and why it's important. And so I thought, you know what? I think we're going to do a podcast on this as well, just to have that reminder out there that this is so good for our mental health, our emotional well-being to have friends. And what does that look like as a married couple? We can have friends that are our own friends, right? As a spouse, as a woman, or as a man. But then we can also have friends that are other couples that we go out with, double dates. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I wanted to talk about 5 friendship skills and then talk about the benefits of going on double dates. So the first skill we're going to talk about is being flexible. A lot of times we just have ideas in our minds about how we think a double date should go or how we want it to go. And sometimes we can get really stuck in that, even though we don't think maybe it's a big deal. We might close ourselves off to opportunities when they arise if we are not flexible. So the more open and flexible we are to a wide variety of activities, the more our own life is going to be enhanced, enriched, and expanded. So there are a couple different types of activities that I would love to bring to the forefront so that your mind can just think about it, right? There are pre-planned activities, and these are activities that already exist out in your community. It means that you had no say in these activities, in the planning of them. These could be concerts in the park, movies in the park. It could be movies at the movie theater. It could be going out to restaurants that already exist. It could be local activities, going to shows, things like that. When you're able to really embrace that other people have taken the time to plan activities, you can just jump on board, find out what activities already exist, and then say, let's go to some of those. While you're driving, you can carpool with the other couple. That gives you a lot of time to be able to talk, get to know each other better, to be able to laugh and fill each other in on the things that are happening in your lives. It helps to create and foster that relationship. On your way to some of these pre-planned activities, you can stop for dinner or dessert afterwards and also have some more time to develop that relationship. When you go on these double dates, it can be helpful to have like a specific goal in mind, right? So maybe you are going to set a goal of, hey, I want to ask this other couple 3 questions, and these are my questions. Or I want to learn more about their kids, or like something specific. When you have a specific goal, it really can enrich the experience and you feel like you're moving forward. There's progression, there's development. So that can be a really cool thing to add without a lot of effort. The second type of activity that you can be aware of is, instead of something that's already planned, is something that you plan yourself, right? This means you are going to take the initiative to say, hey, there's this activity that I want to do. I want to invite this couple, or I've been wanting to get to know this other couple better, and I think they're into this and this, and I can plan an activity based on those things. And we take the initiative ourselves to do the inviting, to plan the activity ourselves. And so I love this type of activity because it really can feel empowering to say, I'm taking control of this aspect of my life. I'm not just waiting around saying, I want more friends. Friends, come to me. And I'm just going to sit here and wait, right? We are going to take a proactive approach. The third type of activity to keep in mind is a spontaneous activity. This can create a surge of fun. It makes life less boring and it allows us to make adjustments in our schedule if we really can, right? To move things around. And this could be like maybe a couple just is text you and they say, I know this is super last minute, but we were going to go listen to open mic night, some of the musicians there. Do you think you guys could come later on? And you're like, okay, I think we don't have like major obligations this night. We can make some arrangements and we can show up, right? Just being able to say, this is something spontaneous. And usually we have everything very planned out, but every now and then, when an opportunity presents itself that's spontaneous and you're able to work it out, that adds a fun level of excitement. Another type of activity is a familiar activity. And this could be just like, oh, okay, we're really used to going on hikes, and we know this other couple really likes hikes. So let's invite them to come along with us. You know, you like this activity, you know, the other people like that activity. You can bond over it, you can share that similar interest. And then the final type of activity are new activities, right? And this is where you actually just take a few minutes to research an activity maybe that you've never done before, right? Maybe it's something on your bucket list. Oh, I've been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to take a cooking class, a one-time painting class. And you're able to think about that, find that, and invite another couple to come along with you. So this is really beneficial because it's easy to go with what's familiar and comfortable, and that is a great experience. But it's also rewarding to be able to introduce new activities that you've never done before, because now you're going to be engaged in a new way. You're going to have new conversations that can really add and kind of bring that spark back within yourself, within your spouse, and also as you interact with another couple. So that first skill was to be flexible with the types of activities that you are involved in, the types of dates. The second skill is to be triggerless. Do not be easily offended. This is a hard one in today's age. We are being bombarded with, hey, someone looked at you funny, you should be mad about that. Hey, someone said something, you should totally be offended by that. Let's sue everybody. This is kind of the feeling of today's world. And if we're not aware, we can really fall into this, even in friendships, right? It's almost taking away other people's abilities, even our own, to have our own thoughts, our own opinions, our own values. And so I would love to increase everyone's awareness about this. Take a moment to self-reflect and say, like, am I triggerless or am I easily offended? And then challenge yourself as you go on double dates, right? This is the skill that you can improve on, is to become less offended when people have very strong opinions, very different opinions than you, to be able to still be cordial, respectful, not get all heated up and say, well, we're never going to hang out with them again, right? But really to be able to sit back and say, as a human, not everyone is going to think the same as me, but I can still develop wonderful relationships with people as long as that respect is there. So that is something that we can work on. As a part of that is to really keep in mind that everyone is on their own path in this life. They're on their own journey. And that also means they are going along that path at their own pace. I remember when my husband and I moved into a new area and we were meeting people and getting to know them. And there was one lady in particular that I really, really liked her. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like we're clicking. We have some things in common and we're both kind of fun and like to talk about similar things. And as I was meeting other people, they were like, watch out for that one, right? Be careful, be aware because she is very gossipy. She is going to spill the tea. Nothing is safe with her. And I remember thinking, okay, I need to watch out for that. And maybe I don't want to be really good friends with her. And then I stopped myself and I was like, Shelly, don't limit yourself. I have the skills to be able to be in the room with people that have very strong opinions who want to be the biggest gossip queens in the world and still be able to hold my own. And so I remember thinking and deciding for myself, I'm not going to let what everyone else says about this one gal who I really like and enjoy affect how that friendship may or may not play out. And I said, I'm going to go in with both feet, just diving in. And you know what? It turned out amazing. And I was not easily offended by things that she said. Yeah, she would gossip sometimes, but I don't really care what other people have to say about me. Right? If they have a need to gossip, that's because they're on their own journey. They are on their own path at their own pace. And so while I may think, oh, well, maybe she shouldn't be so gossipy, by no means am I perfect at that myself, but also I need to give a lot of grace to her in particular and to all people that, you know what, like she's not working on that right now. She's got other things that are way more pressing, way more important than worrying about gossiping right now. Like she has to go and work on that at her own pace if she ever gets to it. And so then I was able to really enjoy the friendship that we developed. I love her. I love her. She's an amazing, amazing person. And being able to remind myself that I'm not easily offended, I'm not easily triggered, allowed me to be friends with an amazing person that other people really had a hard time with. So I feel like I really benefited from that relationship. We also have to give people the benefit of the doubt that, you know what? They'll get to those things. They'll figure it out in time. One day they're going to get to that. They'll come around and we can really put that faith in them and not allow that to sabotage our friendship with them. We can just understand that everyone's got their stuff, everyone's got their flaws, and we can just love people for where they are at currently. Love them with their flaws. It's amazing to do that. They will feel so awesome about it, and you will feel awesome about it. Now, this brings up the topic of being able to put up, personal boundaries, healthy personal boundaries, where you're not going around telling everybody what to do, but you just decide within yourself what you will do if someone oversteps. And that is a much healthier approach to friendships and relationships. Okay, another skill to develop friendships is to use the 4 Ps, right? If you are a spiritual person, pray about it. Pray about who you could be a good friend to and who would be a good friend for you. Pray about trying to get to know other couples better and to develop those relationships. That's the first P. The second P is plan things out. The third P is prepare what is needed. And the fourth P is put it into action. So those are just like 4 Ps that just can help you like, okay, pray, make a plan, right? It's really hard to go on a double date if no plan has been drawn up, right? If we don't take the time to think about it, prepare what is needed, and then to just put it into action. Remember, this is such a cool concept, and I want everyone to just think about this. There is no cap on the number of friendships we can have. There's no limit. There's no law here that says, you know what, we're only going to allow you to have one other friend as, a couple friendship that you go on dates with, there's no limit. We can go on as many double dates and create as many friendships with other couples as we want to, as we decide to. So, if we want to add a lot of variety and newness and excitement to our lives, we can expand our friendships through double dates and really enjoy the benefits that come from doing it. So, initiate and invite people and really have that enriching experience. Going along with that, invite other people often, right? Don't just be a passive player in a friendship. Do the inviting. Make a goal for yourself. Like, let's say once a month, we're going to invite another couple to go out with us on a double date. But then also, if other couples reach out to you, accept their invitation. Even if you're like, I don't know if we're going to have much in common. I don't know like how fun this is going to be. Accept it. You will grow as a human. You will develop. You will learn things about yourself, your spouse, other people. That is an enriching experience. You will feel like you're moving forward and evolving as a person as you allow yourself to be influenced by other people and their interests, their likes, their passions. Allow yourself to experience those things. So invite others often and accept other invitations often. Now, the fourth friendship skill is to reciprocate. A lot of times, friendships can be one-sided, and then usually the person who's putting in the most effort can get very frustrated or burnt out. Be mindful, be aware of the level of reciprocation. Seek for a 50-50, right? So you're doing half of the inviting and you're accepting invitations. But also make sure if another couple is doing a lot of the inviting for you guys, make sure you're mindful of that and say, oh, they've invited us 3 times in a row. I think we should be the ones to invite the next time. And then finally, the last skill is be creative. Harness your creativity. This is so fun. This is what makes life fun, is to be able to say, what are the things I want to do? What do I want to experience? What's fun? What's exciting? Let's go to a salsa dance class one night. Let's go to country line dancing. Let's go to a cooking class. There are so many activities out there that can bring fun and excitement and enjoyment into our lives that let's just dive in. You can also, with that, as far as creativity goes, like create your own little groups of fun things to do. For example, I know that in one of the cities that we lived in, through our church, they decided to do like a supper club. And every 2 months, they had 6 couples, these groups of 6 couples, and a different couple would host. And they would have themes, and everyone would bring a part of the meal. So it was never a burden for one couple. And we were all able to develop much better friendships and relationships within a really short amount of time. And it was awesome. It was so fun to be in other people's homes and to have the different foods that they would bring and to enjoy them. And so there's no limit on our creativity. We're the only ones that limit it. And so we can really open up our minds. And if we're artsy or whatever it is, we can really include some of those things in the way we form different friendship groups and utilize double dates. Okay. Now, what are the benefits of going on double dates? Well, there are plenty, but the main ones are really going to have to do with mental health and emotional health, right? Like when we include friends, we are creating a support system, a network of friends that we can rely on when things are hard, when times are tough. And that is a huge benefit. It really can put us at ease, help us feel like we are not alone in the world. And it also relieves some of the burdens or the weight that we may place on our spouse when we don't have friends. When we don't take the time to develop friendships and only rely on our spouse to fulfill all of our needs, can become a very heavy load. And most humans can't even take care of their own happiness, let alone fulfill everything for their spouse, another human. That is a tall order, and we really need to take back the ownership of our lives and how we are living it and say, if I'm not happy, then I need to do something about it. I need to be proactive. So let's just talk about a few of these benefits of going on double dates. One is that you have a lot of social interaction, right? You're developing the friendships, you're getting outside of yourself, you're not just becoming isolated and a hermit. Humans are meant to be in contact with other humans. We are meant to connect, we are meant to be social. If you look at all the studies from orphanages and third world countries where a lot of times they don't have social interaction, they don't have human contact, those babies don't survive. It's failure to survive. As adults, we may think, well, that's only for infants. Infants need us to feed them and stuff and change their diapers, but adults need it too. Humans need social contact. It is for our well being. The second benefit is it can reduce our stress, right? To get out of the routine of things, to get out of just the responsibilities of everyday life. Being able to go out with another couple and find something that's funny and just laugh together, enjoy an experience together, that can really reduce the amount of stress. And as I love to point out, stress is the number one blocker for a woman feeling her own desire for intimacy. So being able to go out with friends can really reduce the levels of stress. And then maybe there will be some fun, sexy interactions between husband and wife when that takes place, when we're out with friends. So keep that in mind. Another benefit is that you're just involved in a shared experience with another couple. You are creating memories. You are creating those core memories where you're bonding with other people. And then you can reflect back on those, right? Like, let's say you go out with another couple on a Friday night. 2 weeks later, you can circle back around and say, oh my gosh, remember when we did this? That was so much fun. I loved that. That can help really foster that relationship. Another benefit, and this is probably one we don't think about, is that it gets us talking more. It gets us communicating, right? We can improve our communication skills with all the technology and devices and social media and all the attempts for it to connect us. More and more people feel isolated and alone in the midst of all these approaches and ways to connect. But when we go out and you're just on a double date with another couple, like you're back in the game. You get to communicate, you get to talk, you get to hear more ideas and think about them and challenge yourself like, "Ooh, what do I think about what they're saying?" And you're really just engaging more in conversation. And maybe it's been a while since you've been out with other people and you're like, oh, I found it harder to actually have a conversation. You can challenge yourself to improve on those communication skills. Another benefit is it just adds fun and variety into your life. Let's be real. A lot of us don't like to be bored. We get bored and then we start thinking some negative thoughts about our life, about our spouse, about marriage. And if we were just to spend a little bit of time getting some double dates in there, interacting with other people, that could be such an easy solution for boredom, right? Because now you're involving other people. Like what do they want to do? That can add some fun, some novelty into your own life. And your brain is really going to like that. And if your brain likes that, you're going to feel a lot better. Okay, number 6 is that you are going to be able to develop that support system, right? As you develop friendships through double dates, they're going to start to learn about you, maybe some of your challenges and what you're going through. And then they can encourage you like, hey, I thought about you today, or here's something I read that made me think about you, or I thought that you would like. And the relationship can evolve and get even deeper. I met a friend about 2 months ago and we started walking. And so as we walk, we've started to divulge a little bit more of our personal lives with each other. And I was telling them, oh, like I need to reevaluate like my health. Like it's hasn't been so good lately. I need to think about exercise different and diet just a little bit differently. I need to make some adjustments, and it's has to do with my liver. And then she sent me the cutest little thing. She was just like, oh, I thought about you and your liver today. And have you ever heard about this? And I was like, oh my gosh, like I felt so much love for this friend, even though the friendship is so new. And I felt like there was that support system, even though I have to take all the actions myself, but just to be able to bounce ideas off of another person has just been so beneficial. Okay, number 7. I love this one because we can increase our laughter. I love laughing. Humor is so good for the soul. And when we are able to go out with more friends and be able to relax and put our responsibilities to the side for an hour or two, however long we're going out, we can really start to feel that relief and just that laughter, that fun, and enjoy those moments and say, yes, these are those things that make life meaningful, right? It makes life enjoyable so we can capture those. It gives us new opportunities to do things that are a little outside our comfort zone, right? This is a benefit because we grow and we develop as a person. And we will know more about ourselves. Like, I'm not very good with like trivia games. And I know some people love them. And I'm always like a little hesitant when I know we're going to go somewhere and play trivia. But at the same time, I'm like, Shelly, you're going to learn a lot though. So like, let's go, game on. And I'm going to learn a lot about those people. And I do, but it's so fun. The ninth benefit is that, yes, we get to build friendships. We get to further the friendships that have already been established, but also we can create new friendships that can just also be a beautiful aspect of our lives. We can have old friends, new friends. Friends that are the same age, friends that are different ages, right? Like there's just no limit on it. And each can add something beautiful to our life. And so why not? Why not? And then the last one is that we can learn things from other people. As we develop friendships and we're interacting and they're sharing things about their lives, we can really learn so much. We went out with a couple who invited us last week to go out on a double date. And as we were listening to their story, I was like, oh my gosh, they have gone through so many hard things. I thought we've gone through some hard things, but they had really gone through some hard things. And as we learned of their story, I felt so much admiration for them and a connection to them, and really appreciated what they would bring to the table, knowing they had gone through so many things and still were able to be level-headed and mindful and so aware and not let it ruin their lives. I had so much respect for them, and I felt that my life was enhanced by going on that double date with them. And I was so grateful, so grateful. So let's all set a goal this week that we will at least go on one double date each month. We can do that. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just inviting another couple over to our house to play a board game that we already have, that's free, right? We can all do this because remember, the more we restore this type of intimacy within ourselves, the more we can restore it with our spouse. Thank you so much for listening today, and I hope you will join me next time.